My name is Duodoluwa Femi Ajala. I am a 500 level law student at the University of Lagos, Nigeria. But I'm meant to be done with school, but because of the whole COVID, the strike, and everything, so I got delayed an extra year. But hopefully by the end of this year, I will be done. So family-wise, I come from a family of 6. I'm the last child out of all my siblings, and yes, I like being the last born. I'm interested in environmental sustainability. So, going back to where I started from, I think I've always just had a passion for environment, and that's what led me to what I am doing right now. So, career wise, aside from school, because I'm studying law, so that has actually helped me further what I'm doing currently in the environmental space. So I'm just going to start from, when I was in university. So university wise, I got into volunteering roles in different organizations that had to do with environmental sustainability. Some of them were in recycling, some of them were in climate change, because currently I am a volunteer staff for an organization that has to do with climate change, ICCDI, and so that's what launched me into the environmental space that I am in. Then also in school, I got into model UN. So these are simulations of the United Nations. So that has broadened my perspective on how I see law itself, how I see international dealings, the policy making, the research. And in 2019, that's when I went for National Model United Nations in New York, USA. So I got to interact with a lot more people than I did while I was in Nigeria, and I went to the United Nations itself. So like that broadened my perspective on how I saw not just environment itself, but how I saw other people dealing with their own countries' issues, with their own national policies, and that had broadened my perspective on so many other things. Then now coming back to Nigeria, so I have organization that I started with my friends when I was in 300 level, yes. So it's called Youth Sustainable Development Conference, YSDC. So this is an organization focused on youth empowerment. So what we do is, we pick, because I don't know if a lot of people have heard about the SDGs. So those are Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 of them, and they got started in 2015, and they have a deadline of 2030. So what exactly do we do about this thing? So we pick out a number of goals, and we say, we're youth, we want to develop our country, we want to develop our continent. So how exactly can we go about that? So it's more like we're trying to empower youth to become critical thinkers outside the four walls of the educational institute that we find ourselves in. So it's not only about the formal education you are based in, but what more can you do with the skills you acquire? How can you think of practical solutions that can contribute to the community that you live in? And we've run that for about, so this is our third year. So we had a conference this year in 2021. This one was more Pan-African in itself, that had to, so we did a lot of, so it was not just Nigerian that we had this year. So we had people from Kenya and even people from outside Africa participating in the conference. So it was really good, and I know that we have impacted lives, because this year we're able to gather partnership and sponsors for the event, and we're able to work, because we focus more on social entrepreneurs that are really doing bits and pieces within their community, and trying to push them to another level where they can actually take whatever they're doing right at this point in time from one step to another. Yes, and also I'm agreeing that I'm into it. Like I said, I'm also into the environmental sustainability space. That's where I find myself in, and because of that, I founded so to say an organization, but this is more of a creative organization that deals like, because I have a blog and a blog, so it's called The Green Advocate. My mom has been for me my number one supporter, and she's a facilitator of INT, and because of her role in my life, it has directly and also indirectly affected the choices I have made personally in my career path, in my schoolwork, because she pushes me to be the best version of myself. And I know that one of the reasons why is because of the type of person she is, and because of the role INT has played directly in our life. So, and even also my uncle, because my uncle is also part of INT. So both of them being directly infused into national transformation has directly affected my life in me being what I am today. So for me, it has really been quite life transforming for me, because even if I'm not directly I'm not directly involved in INT, but indirectly it has helped me immensely because of the people that are in INT that are also in my own life that help me make the right choices for myself. Do I believe in Nigeria? I'll actually say yes, but for me, it would be I believe more in the people of Nigeria than Nigeria itself. And why do I say I believe more in the people? Because of the type of persons we are. And because of the type of persons we are, I believe we can then make the country that we actually want to be in. Because at this point in time, if you're looking at the current Nigerian situation, more one can actually be so it can actually be quite disheartening to see that every day on the news you're waking up to see another tragedy and just asking yourself what next or am I going to be next or so the questions are just keep flowing in and you start asking yourself, is there really a hope for Nigeria? And that's why I said that I believe in the people of Nigeria because it's only the people that make the country what it can actually be. What I've always believed from time immemorial was that you start from where you are, start with the little things that you can find at your disposal to make it know that you're probably in this space or you're probably doing what you really have passion for. So I don't believe that you should wait until you get to a position of authority to be the change you want to see. I am part of an organization called the Conversation Africa. So what do we exactly do in this organization? So it's an organization that tries to channel all youth to think about nation building in from another perspective. So we had the conference in May and we brought like minds together to talk about what is the Nigerian dream, the Nigerian identity, the Nigerian promise. And it was quite eye-opening because you got to see things from another perspective of what Nigeria can actually be, and we got to see that oh yes, youth can actually play a decisive role in the politics of Nigeria. And aside from the politics of Nigeria, even if you don't want to be in politics, there are so many other areas you can find yourself in, that you can ensure that you are taking it to the next level. And how do I mean by this? Like for me, I don't see myself entering political terrain, but I am into environment. But how exactly can I ensure that my role in the environment is something that can benefit Nigeria as a whole? So it's more about finding that thing that makes you just want to makes you want to do something for your country, makes you have that hunger to do something for your country. Like for other people it might be energy, for some other people it might be education, because I know that Nigeria does not have a good educational system. So how exactly can you ensure that we have that educational system? So it's starting small. So maybe you want to educate people in their kindergartens, ensuring that they have the foundation to actually build to have that international standard. So it's just starting small and going big. And for other people that might be asking, oh, how exactly can we ensure that we start small? Those little things that we can actually do in our space. So if you are into the political scene, one of the things I'll say is start small, like from your local government. Don't always say you want to just go for the governorship or go for the national post, but in your local government, who is going to be the chairman? Are you voting for that person? Do you actually know who your chairman is going to be in your local government? So you can take active step politically in your local government by just starting there. Then in another space, let's say the educational space, how exactly can I ensure that I have quality education is by, if you have passion for that space, maybe finding like minds around you and starting a kindergarten that ensures that, or maybe the youth, or maybe not youth, probably children around you are giving maybe books to read, quality books to read that can actually enhance their thinking in a way that broadens their perspective from wherever they are. And one thing I always say is reading of books. That's another way you can actually launch your career or just start from where you are. Books broaden your perspective. The time someone spoke to me about, not spoke to me, but I heard this quote about books that is more like you're learning something from another person. That person that you're reading about, or the person that wrote the book, is more like your mentor, but it's an indirect mentor because you're learning from that person just by reading their book. So books are another way for you to start from wherever you are to get to wherever you need to be. So as an environmentalist, for me it's more of like, why do we litter? I really do not like the fact that people roll down their windows and the next thing they're doing is throwing out the dirt. So one of the things that we can actually do to partake in the ensuring that we actually play a very good role in making our country. Because one thing I hate to hear is when people are littering and they end up saying, "Oh, Nigeria is dirty," but in my mind I'm like, you're littering. Yeah, in my mind I'm like, you're the one peeing on the road. You're the one causing this environmental degradation we're currently suffering in our country, but yet you're still saying Nigeria is dirty, Nigeria is not where we need to be, but you're not taking the decisive step to ensure that it's not that, even if it's just you doing that action, one person does make a difference in our country. So you can start taking the decisive action to ensure that there is no litter on the ground, or you're not using that the plastic bag. Because one thing I know in the environmental space, and one thing I also want to let people know, is that once you're using plastic bottles. Plastic bottles are non-renewable, and because of that they cause harm to our environment. So for example, like the chain is that you buy a plastic bottle and the next thing you're doing is, after you just drink the water, or after you just drank your soda, the next thing you're doing is throwing it on the road and it goes into gutters, and maybe it clogs the gutters, causing floods. Then, or another chain might be going into the oceans and killing our wildlife. But you do not see it as you causing harm in the environment. You just seeing that, well, I really don't need the bottle right now, but I don't want to keep it in my bag to dispose of it properly. Or even your styrofoam cups or your styrofoam plates, all those takeaway plates that you usually go to, and maybe the mama put gives you all those pink, green styrofoam cups, and you now dispose it on the road or dispose it inside the gutter. Those things also cause flood. And if you really want to change from where you are or start small, those are the things you can actually start doing to ensure that you are part of the change you are actually talking about. Because in the long run it affects you more than it doesn't affect you, basically. So I've spoken so much about myself throughout this interview, and one of the things I spoke about was making decisive actions. And one of the ways to ensure that you become the change you really do want to see, because if you really want to build the Nigeria of your dreams, or the Nigerian you actually want to be in, or you don't want to become the next statistics of the Japa story, this is a way to make that change, a way to change your mindset from having that statistic mindset to having a growth mindset, that you can actually be the change you want to see. And aside from being the change you want to see, you can actually make the impact in Nigeria, be the next Jeff Bezos of Nigeria that everybody always talks about. And one of the ways to change your mindset is to be part of INT's summer leadership program that will be happening on the 21st and 22nd of August. So it's going to be for preschool students, for primary school students, for university and graduate students, and also for secondary school students. It's going to be a life-changing experience, like I said before. It's going to be fun and it's completely free. You do not have to pay anything to attend this program. We're going to have viewing centers in Lagos, Abuja, and also in Gambia. So we really do hope to see you there. These are ways you can ensure that you change the mindset from the static one you have right now to a growing mindset that can actually make the change you want to see. Because I've spoken about Institute for National Transformation in my interview today, and one of the things I know that has directly benefited me is the fact that my mother was part of this program. What are the objectives for this summer leadership program? To develop a basic understanding of why nations exist, which will help us understand Nigerians' national values in the national anthem, pledge, and flag, waking up the hunger to love Nigeria and to be responsible citizens of Nigeria, leading us to understand their rights as citizens and the importance of patriotism, and the most important, learning to lead today for tomorrow. To register, please visit www.intinternational.org/SLP. Like I said before, it is completely free and I do hope to see you there. So now, where would you rather be on the 21st and 22nd of August than INT's leadership program for you? I hope to see you there. Thank you.